Can you come get me? He locked the door. Her voice cracked through my phone at 1:47 a.m., thin and shaking, like it might disappear if I didn't answer fast enough. I sat straight up in bed, heart pounding, already knowing something was wrong. Outside my window, the city was quiet, the kind of quiet that makes fear louder. "Where are you?" I asked. There was a pause. A breath. Then she whispered, "At his apartment." I thought he loved me. That was how the night began, the night that changed both our lives. Her name was Sarah. We weren't lovers. We weren't even close friends in the traditional sense. She was someone I once worked with, someone who laughed too loud at bad jokes and always stayed late to help others finish their work. We'd lost touch over the years, but sometimes people remember you in moments of fear more clearly than those who promise forever. She told me she had moved to the city for love. A man who seemed gentle, attentive, patient. He had convinced her to leave her small town, her job, her family. Tonight, during an argument she didn't even fully understand, his calm disappeared. He took her phone once, read messages she didn't know offended him, and then, without shouting, without drama, he locked the door and told her to calm down. "I'm scared," she said, her voice breaking. "I don't think he'll hurt me, but I don't feel safe." I didn't think. I just said the words that came from somewhere deeper than logic. "There's still room at my place. I'm coming." The drive felt endless. Red lights blurred together. My hands shook on the steering wheel. Every possible outcome ran through my head, and none of them were good. When I reached the apartment building, she was standing outside, barefoot, jacket wrapped tight around her, eyes red from crying. The door behind her was locked, but she was free. Somehow, she had convinced him to let her step outside for air. She looked smaller than I remembered. She didn't say much in the car. Neither did I. Sometimes silence is the only thing that doesn't hurt. When we reached my place, she hesitated at the door, like she was afraid of taking up space in the world. "I don't want to be a problem," she whispered. I opened the door wider. "You're not." That night, she slept on my couch, curled into herself like she was afraid the room might disappear. I stayed awake, listening to her breathing, realizing how easily someone's entire life can change in a single moment. By morning, fear turned into shame. She kept apologizing, for calling me, for crying, for existing in my space. I made coffee and told her she could stay as long as she needed. When she finally looked up at me, her eyes were tired but honest. "No one's ever said that to me before," she said. And that's when I understood the real damage wasn't the locked door. It was the years she'd spent believing she didn't deserve an open one. The days turned into weeks. Sarah didn't leave right away. At first, she said it was just until she figured things out. But figuring things out is harder when you've spent your whole life adjusting to other people's expectations. She found a temporary job nearby. I cleared a corner of my apartment for her things. We created quiet routines, shared dinners, late-night talks, moments of laughter that felt strange at first, like borrowed joy. But healing isn't a straight line. Some nights she'd wake up from nightmares, convinced she was trapped again. Sometimes a slammed door would make her flinch. Other times she'd blame herself for everything that happened. "If I were better," she said once, staring at the floor, "he wouldn't have gotten angry." I shook my head. Love doesn't lock doors. The real challenge came when he started calling. Messages. Apologies. Promises to change. He said he was lonely. He said she misunderstood. He said he couldn't live without her. I watched her hands shake as she read each message. I didn't tell her what to do. Control doesn't heal control. Instead, I reminded her she had a choice. That staying was optional. That safety was not selfish. One evening, she sat across from me at the kitchen table, phone in her hand, tears running silently down her face. "I don't know who I am without someone telling me," she said. That moment broke my heart more than the midnight call ever did. So we started small. She made her own decisions: what to eat, where to go, when to rest. I watched her confidence grow in quiet ways. She laughed more. She stood taller. She stopped apologizing for taking space. And somewhere along the way, the couch became her room, and fear slowly loosened its grip. Months later, she got accepted into a training program she'd always wanted but never believed she deserved. The day she got the email, she ran into the room crying, not from fear, but from joy. "I did this," she said. Me. The night before she moved into her own place, we sat on the floor surrounded by boxes. The apartment felt different, emptier, but lighter. "You saved me," she said softly. I shook my head. "No. You saved yourself. I just left the door open." She hugged me tightly, not like someone afraid of being abandoned, but like someone grateful for a chapter that ended exactly when it needed to. After she left, the apartment felt quiet again. But it wasn't lonely. It was full of the reminder that sometimes being there for someone doesn't mean fixing them. Sometimes it just means answering the phone, showing up, and making space. Life didn't suddenly become perfect after Sarah moved out. Healing rarely gives you a clean ending. It gives you distance, perspective, and quiet strength, but it also gives you moments that test whether you truly learned the lesson. A few weeks after she left, I got another call. Not late at night this time. Early morning. Her voice sounded different, steady, but serious. "I saw him today," she said. My chest tightened instantly. She explained she had run into him outside a grocery store. No shouting. No drama. Just a few words. He apologized again, said therapy had changed him, said he wished he could take everything back. For a moment, the old confusion crept in. The guilt. The habit of putting someone else's pain above her own. But then, she paused, taking a breath. I remembered that night. The locked door. The fear. And I realized something. I waited. I don't need to hate him to walk away. I just need to choose myself. That was the moment I knew she was truly free. Later that evening, she came over, not because she needed shelter, but because she wanted company. She sat on the same couch she once slept on out of fear, smiling at how far she'd come. We talked about ordinary things: work stress, future plans, silly dreams. Ordinary felt extraordinary now. She told me she'd started helping other women at her program, listening, sharing her story, reminding them they weren't weak for staying too long or leaving too late. "I used to think strength was surviving," she said. "Now I think it's choosing peace." As she left that night, she stopped at the door and turned back. "Thank you," she said. "For answering the phone. For not asking questions first. For giving me space when I felt like I didn't deserve any." I watched her walk away, confident, grounded, whole in a way she hadn't been before. And I understood something about myself too. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can offer someone isn't love, money, or advice. It's safety. It's belief. It's an open door when the world feels locked. Life moved on. New routines. New days. But that night, the call, the fear, the words "there's still room at my place," stayed with me as a reminder. Because somewhere, right now, someone is standing outside a locked door, afraid to ask for help. And somewhere else, someone is wondering if they have enough room in their life to care. The truth is, you don't need a big house, a perfect past, or all the answers. Sometimes, all it takes to change a life is answering the call and leaving the door open.